Hello, how are you? This is just going to be a general collective read. But before we get started, I would like to give a lot of thanks to all those that came over from Captain Reed's channel. And if you're returning, I really do appreciate you. Really do. If nothing else, I just want to entertain. I mean, if this ain't your storyline, it ain't your storyline. That's good. I enjoy reading. So, if you want me to tap into a little bit more of what you got going on, hit that like button. It gives more of an energetic exchange. Comment. That helps as well. And maybe I'll tap into a little bit more of your energy. Okay? And without further ado, let's jump in and see what's going on with you. Here we go. So we're getting some kind of messages from the divine. Just FYI, could be health related. I'm not no doctor or lawyer or specialist of that kind. I'm just an energy specialist. I'm just reading energy, so therefore take what resonates, leave what does not, and I'm not accountable. These are just general collective readings on YouTube. I'll just go put that out there, okay. That's the message from me to you. Okay, messages. Let's get a little bit more. Tell me a little more about these messages. So we're receiving messages, and it's from a higher guidance system. And the messages that we're receiving are meant to give us a little bit of insight as to where we're going, to help us see the light at the end of the tunnel. So it's like we've been walking, we've been trudging this path for a really long time, and we're just trying to get to the point where we can actually see the light of day again. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we start to see this glimmer. It's almost like a glimmer of hope. So we receive some kind of messages. We're receiving some kind of messages that's giving us some kind of glimmer of hope here. The card's backwards. There. We have severance. So I feel like there's a particular path that we've been on, or we weren't sure of what path that was, and now it's time. We're receiving guidance as to what path we need to cut loose or need to stay away from. What was that? Oh, it's just a pen. It's okay. Well, it's an emotional one. It's one that's pretty deep to the depth. So we've had to cut something loose that was we were emotionally attached to, but we have secrecy here. Secrets. There's some kind of hidden knowledge. Messages. So the divine sending us messages, and we're starting to see a glimmer of hope. But apparently there's something that has to be cut loose from the emotions that maybe we're not even aware of. See, this card always reminds me of like the depths of the ocean, the deep. Because even though the waters could be choppy and chaotic on the surface, you get down, 10, 15 foot, you can't even tell. You have no idea what's even going on the surface. So there could be like a bunch of stuff that's going on around you, and you're needing to cut it out. But you need to do it it's almost like not telling others with the secrets card, because this is about being secretive, moving in the still night, keeping your move secret, and not bringing others into what you have going on. So it's the secrecy, right? Maybe this is what this is. You're receiving messages from a higher guidance system that you need to cut something loose. Oh, that is okay. the messages that are coming in, they're from a loving, nurturing source. They're not something that's going to guide you to do something that's going to harm you in any way. The messages that you will receive from your higher self would be of a loving nature, right? So maybe someone here doesn't understand what the voices or what those messages sound like. Those messages, when you receive a message from the divine, from the higher up, they're never yelling. It's a quiet voice. It's almost like a whisper. It's never yelling. It's never degrading. It's never demeaning. It never puts you down. It can have a sense of humor. Yes, it can have a sense of humor. Um, and it would be something that you would get. It would never offend you. You would never be offended by the joke. um, it sounds like, yeah, if there's a lot of commotion going on, a lot of chaotic things going on, you won't be able to hear the voice. It's because it'll drown it out. That's the reason why it's very important that we learn to sit with ourselves so that we can hear that sound of the divine. That's why meditation is really, that's the reason why a lot of people really meditate. It's not, well, I mean, it's for the wellness of themselves, but but it's also for the ability to be able to hear that sound, hear that voice from the divine. Now, I will forewarn you, okay? There will be times that you will receive messages to go in a particular direction. It's not always going to be the easiest. You as a human, our human self, we look at situations and we feel like, oh, well, we can do this better, or we can go a different way. This would be easier over here. There is a reason why that voice, the divine's telling you to go a particular direction. Listen to that voice. I'm warning you now. Listen to that voice, because if you don't, you will be twisted up like a pretzel. It happens. If you choose to go your way, that's the resistance. If you go with the flow, even though it's something, because it's never really going to guide you to take the easy way. It's never the easy route, unless the easy route is the best possible solution. Now, there is times like this happening, but most times than not, I have found, me personally, it's not the easiest. It's actually the most uncomfortablest um, way, but the results of it were always better than anything that I could imagine in the situation. So that's the sound of the messages. I don't know. Somebody needed to hear that. Guidance, healing from the higher realm. Oh, it's the middle round. So this is some heart chakra. These cards kind of indicate to me the heart chakra, and because we have the emotions out here, the guidance is loving. Yes, the voice, the messages when they come in, they're very loving, and they have it. They have a healing feel to them. It's very comforting, and you can feel it in the heart. Severance, the one before the gate. This is you blocking yourself. The guardian, that's you. That's you. We have the tendency to block ourselves from being able to hear the divine, because, like I was saying, we stand in the way. We get in the way by thinking we know best. We've have experience, but just because we have experience with something doesn't mean that we have done it the right way. You know what I mean? I personally am fully aware that some of the things that I've done in the past aren't necessarily the best way of going about them. And had I listened to that little voice, that little sound, the little small guy, probably would have went a lot smoother. That these days, that's what I follow. I stop, I listen, I check in. Anybody got anything to say? Like I check in. Hey guys, speak to me. Tell me something, and they'll tell me. Like when I'm reading cards, I'll ask. Sometimes I don't have to deal. Sometimes I'll have to deal out of the cards because I'm needing to dig a little further. There's more of a message by pulling out more cards. But there's a feeling I get, and so I know to like just ask and I'll get the answer. Sometimes you'll see me just pause. I'll ask, can I get a little bit more information? And then I'll just sit and wait. Emotions. So there's some emotions that are buried deep, deep, deep down within that need to be evaluated. These things are holding you back. You see all the carcasses down here? Okay. She's elevating herself. She's shooting up higher than she's ever shot before. And she's going to hit her mark. She never misses a mark. Never. This is Artemis. But what she's shooting for is above, because I don't know if you could see, but here is like a wall. And she has to shoot up over the wall to get to where she wants, right? And I feel like there's something we feel down deep that is not allowing us to break past this barrier. This is giving me the feeling of like, it could have something to do with your feeling abundant. This is giving me the feeling of like always being able to reach it to a certain level. Like you climb the ladder, say at work, you climb the ladder, and you can only get to a certain level every time. It doesn't matter what company you work for, you'll get so hot, but for some reason you can't break past that barrier. You can't take that one extra step. And it's something that's tied to your emotions. Looks like you're freeing that though. Because you stand in the way from your higher guidance system. That's legit. Everybody does. Especially at the beginning of learning how to understand the higher self and when the divine is speaking to you. A lot of times we struggle hearing that. And it's because our own self is standing in the way. A lot of times we don't believe. We don't have a lot of faith. We don't trust. I know I struggled with that in the beginning. I completely struggled with that. Now I don't. Now it's like, what? Shh, everybody be quiet. I'm trying to listen. Everybody's looking at me like, none of us is talking. I know, but your thoughts, they're really loud. It's strange. It's strange. But my people are used to it. My people are used to it. Secrets, dark-minded. Dark-minded. So, that's the shadow side. It's dichotomy. That's the back and forth. The shadowy aspect of the self. I am curious. Why does that fall under the secrets, though? There's someone secretly? Okay, so there's someone or something that secretly, that's behind the scenes, that is actually working in your favor. It's something you've been going back and forth about. You're not aware of it. You've been struggling with it because I see you being freed from it here. And that's once you step out of the way and free yourself. There's so much independence here that you've been going back and forth about. But because of these emotions attached, you detached your emotions from it. Unresolved past. Okay, we have the path. This is the journey. We're at the beginning of the journey of this long road to the higher self. So this message could be someone that's starting a spiritual journey that's not quite understanding the sounds, the way that messages are heard. And it is part of the process. You'll figure it out. I can tell you what I can tell you, but I can only tell you so far, you know what I mean? So I feel like the message it's part of the process, and it's something that you'll pick up along the way. Continue doing what you're doing. Sit with the self, silence, you know, because if you crave it, you desire it enough, it'll be yours. It'll be yours if that's what you want, if that's what it's meant for you to have. Mm. There's some fears here that you're needing to free yourself from. Oh, it's the dichotomy. Okay, I'm getting it. So the this reminds me of like the things, the voices. If you'll notice, there's a person like running and screaming, and all these are just people of the past versions of ourselves, situations, jobs, our parents, whatever. That it's like all those things are coming up, and it's coming up from the emotions, right? We're emotionally attached to it. However, we are being freed from it. Okay, you are being freed from it. So it's once you're able to free yourself from all those voices, all those things that are coming up. And it's not like you're hearing things that aren't there. It's just those thoughts that come in, and we hear that sound of someone, or the comments that they said, or like, we're never good enough, you're never going to amount to anything, you're undeserving, um, you're the worst thing that ever happened to you. Those kind of things. It's just not a very good thing to have to remember. But it's you're freeing those, because that's what's attached to the emotions. When you detach from that, when you cut that out, when you cut those emotions out, no longer hanging on to that, then we're allowed to sit in the place of peace and get what we desire. The desire is, at this point, to embark on this journey. Deflection. See, we learn to deflect ourselves from those voices, from those things of the past. Seeing fury. Mm, we have obstacles. It's these things in the voice. Okay, so let's say we're sitting with ourselves, and we're trying to really listen to the higher self and what the higher self is trying to tell us. We struggle sometimes to hear what they're saying, because we have all these other things that are coming up. This could be just voices from the past, like from the day. Those thoughts of everything that's gone on today, where we replay conversations that we had with people, or we are focusing on something that someone else might have said long, long time ago. It's those kind of things. Those are the things that I'm talking about, that we're replaying. It's a replay. Okay, that's what creates the obstacle for you to actually be able to heal. Heal. I don't know why I said heal. I mean, healing is here. Heal that part of yourself, because it's blocked, and you're the one that stands in the way. You have to sit with yourself long enough so that you can heal those things, so that you can start receiving those messages on what you need to cut loose. What is something you could step away from and no longer need to carry with you anymore? What is no longer, what are you accepting of as truth? Sometimes we hear things, and we hear it so much that we start to believe it. But is it true? No, not necessarily. There might be a little bit of truth in what's being said, so you take that little bit of truth and you discard the rest. And then you work on with that little bit of truth. If I don't like this about myself, or I don't like that I did this or whatever, I acknowledge it. I understand it. It's there. It happened. There's nothing I can do about it now. And then I'm allowed to release it. You can't hang on to it and expect to be able. I mean, this is going to be a long and winding road. This isn't an easy journey right here. This isn't easy. The path to the higher self, yes, it is about the destination, getting to the higher self, but it's also about the experience, all the things that we run into, the things that we learn. So take it easy, take it slow, take your time. It's no rush, because it doesn't matter. You can rush all you want to. It's not going to speed up the process. It's not. And actually, it'll more hinder you more if you try to force the issue and force yourself to go down this path. So I feel like this message is for someone that's starting a spiritual journey, or wanting to understand um, what the higher self or their guides sound like. That's what this message really feels like to me. hmm And I do receive messages, so my channel is meant to help others. hear those voices, hear those messages until they're able to hear them on their own as they embark on their journey, to give them a little bit of guidance, a little bit of understanding. Yes, sometimes I'm going to throw out a weird, funny, read whatever like I did the other day. But generally, these are my type of messages right here. These are the kind of messages that I usually give. The other one, the other day, I mean, it was an interesting reading. I don't know why I went that way, but hey, whatever. I enjoyed it. It was a good time. I just go with the flow. I just do what I'm told, y'all. This is so. If you've been a rebellious, like, don't tell me I can't do something. Okay, that was one of my things, and I didn't take very kindly to authority, like never have. Okay, but when you get to a point where you have to surrender that a part of yourself, let me tell you right now, that was a challenge. That was a challenge. It still can be challenging at times. I'm just gonna be real. Sometimes it can still be challenging. So I do hope this helped you. I do hope that this helped give you a little bit of understanding as to what's going on, what the voice sounds like, and for you to understand that it's just part of the journey. It'll get easier the more it's like a muscle, the more you exercise it, the more you sit with yourself, the more you're able to hear it. Okay. So it just takes time, but you got to be freed from a lot of this right here. A lot of this. And this right here is what takes time, honestly. Because once you're freed from this, all this everything else just falls away. It just the dark mind, everything, it just kind of goes away on its own. It's basically just reprogramming the mind. All the mental chatter that it does because it's overactive, and we as humans feel like we got to constantly be doing something, and so our mind will help kill that silence because we might hear ourselves, right? Our higher selves. So it's really about shutting down that mental mind, really. Well, like I said, I do hope this helps. And until we meet again, toodaloo.